The airplane door opened at 3,200 meters, and the blast of cold air shook me to reality. Sitting on the floor, no seat belts, no seats, watching wave after wave of people disappear out that door into the sky. This was really happening. I had been at the airport early that day. It was a small airstrip outside of Tokyo, a place where skydivers go. I had been waiting for a flight all day. My friend Peter, the only foreign skydive instructor in Japan in those days, had asked me to come. He said he might be able to get me a seat on one of the planes, probably the last plane of the day. It was his last day of flight instruction in Japan before returning back to the US after years of being an instructor. That day was hard for me. I was up early. I made it out to the airfield. I was there by 8:30 for the safety briefing, the safety instructions. And then I had to sit and wait all day. 8 hours. And this was before the internet. This was before smartphones. I just had to wait. After wave of 20-something-year-old Japanese office ladies who had paid, who had planned in advance, weeks in advance, to take their trip. I had done neither. I was an add-on. I was a freebie. Peter was doing me a solid. After years of hanging out with him, carousing in the streets of Roppongi and Shinjuku, he said, "Come on along, let's see if we can get you on." It was a tough day for me, sitting there, waiting, dealing with my own nerves. I was watching all of these Japanese office ladies come back alive, energized, excited, having had so much fun on their jump. And here I was, ready to chicken out, ready and actually hoping that the flights would all be full and I wouldn't have to go after all. 4:30 came, last flight of the day. There was space, one space left for me. I was the last guy on the flight. I got in. We corkscrewed up the way that skydiving planes do to get to altitude as quickly as possible, 11,000 feet, 3,200 meters. Many of the others were already out of plane. They were already going as we got up to altitude. They don't waste any time once you get up there. And as I inched over to the door with my tandem buddy, I looked out. And the funny thing is about doing skydiving, if you've ever done it before, or maybe not, is you actually do a forward roll out of the plane. You don't stand up and jump out like you see Tom Cruise do in the movies, generally speaking. And so at that moment, we did our forward roll from kind of a crouched position. And as we did, I looked up and I saw the bottom of the plane from outside of the plane, banking hard left. It was gone. And there we were, hurtling toward the earth at 200 kilometers per hour. I was wondering to myself, why did I just jump out of a perfectly good airplane? On the way down, in that first 60 seconds when you're free falling, I screamed. I'm not proud to say man screaming, quite a lot of it, as loud as I could, but I couldn't even hear myself scream. The wind is so loud around you. And during those moments, in that sort of come to Jesus, literal and figurative come to Jesus moment for me, I made all kinds of promises. The better person I would be, the things I would not do in the future that I had been doing already, one of the reasons I got there in the first place. How I would live my life if I could just survive. Well, as we hurtle down, there comes a moment, another moment, just not that come to Jesus moment, but the moment when I'm thinking about the safety briefing. I don't know if you've ever been on the plane and ignored the safety briefing at the beginning of your commercial flight, and then when the bumps start happening in turbulence, you reach for that card. This is like what I was doing. I was trying to figure out what was going on. Anyway, we pulled the chute finally. We landed, we came down, and as we're coming down, we're looking at this beautiful landscape around us. It was amazing. It was Japan coming at us, and we landed safely. I've thought a lot about that over the past 30 years, that experience. What did it mean to me? Did it change my life? Was it a blueprint for how I would live? And I will tell you, the one thing that comes to mind from that, in the essence of time here today, is one word. One word that has guided me across my business, my personal relationships, my volunteer work that I've done over the years. It's a word that is sometimes really, really hard to accept and really, really hard to put into action. That word is simply yes. When somebody comes to you with an interesting business proposal and you're not sure about it, say yes. When somebody asks for your help, say yes. When you are scared of something, just say yes. You will be amazed at what that flight means to you. Thank you.